Yeah, so we got Bryan on the show. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming out. Just kind of a little background on yourself. If you kind of give the audience kind of a little couple pieces of information about
Thanks
you.
for having me, dude. This is cool. I'm always happy to do stuff like this. Bryan Casella, everybody calls me BC. I've been doing social media now for 4 or 5 years. I got into the real estate business about 6.5 years ago, and I'm just somebody who started really documenting what I was doing, and really just as I evolved, how I was thinking, what I was going through, I just shared it with the world. And, we're here today. I've amassed a pretty big following on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. And, I'm just somebody who's really, I believe now, almost like I'm carrying the torch, especially in my industry of real estate, of just breaking barriers. And, when I got in the business, I was told that a real estate agent was supposed to do this, think this way, talk this way, dress this way. And I've always kind of been like a trailblazer in that sense to say, well, I understand that, but I want to do it my own way and have success. And then when you start having success, people start looking and saying, oh, well, wait, you have tattoos, you cuss, this and that. How are you having success?
You're not so straight edge.
Yeah. So, and now I believe I've created a community and a platform for the people who have followed me where we can express ourselves and our individuality freely without feeling like we have to, hold back because people are going to criticize us or talk shit. And that's a cool space, I think, to create. Because when you start doing stuff on social media, you're going to have a community with your podcast. You have a community here with your gym. And it's almost like an environment where people can build with each other. It's like lions. Once lions start getting together and they go out into the jungle, it's a different dynamic. Because now it's not just one lion, it's like 5.
Yeah.
Now they walk around a little different. They're a little more bold and there's less fear.
Yeah.
Because you have the man next to you.
Yeah.
yeah, you have the man next to you to keep the movement going with you. And I feel like people nowadays are so suppressed and they want to say something, but they feel like, oh shit, if I say anything, I'm going to get attacked by the world.
Yeah.
I don't have my tribe with me. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. That's why I commend you, because I feel that you say a lot of stuff that other people are thinking.
Right.
So that's why it's kind of motivated me in a sense to come out with a podcast, not be so secluded into one dynamic and just fitness or just business. Because when I was talking to you at the gym when we were boxing, it's like, okay, well, relationships, girls, whether it's cars or whatever, it's just kind of include all of those things into the podcast and not necessarily just like, okay, what I feel like my strong suit is,
Yeah, right.
But that's why I really like that, because I've been following you for a while. When you came into the gym and talked to us, and then, that's kind of when I had started following you and the things that you were doing. And one of the people, kind of one of the reasons why we're here today is Arash.
Yeah.
And I started watching some of his videos and listening to the things that you had said, and his dynamic and his way of relationships and kind of how it relates back to business is something that kind of intrigued me in a sense, because I feel that his dynamic is very alpha. And I feel like in business, in order for you to grow and succeed, that you have to have that mentality. Yeah. So the way that he does things and the way he can conduct people, I guess specifically women, so to say, kind of, is relatable when it comes back to business.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to hear kind of your viewpoints on how that has shaped you and your business, or things that you pull from that, or have you always thought that way when it comes to Arash?
Great questions, man. And it's interesting, this subject, because this is a subject when it comes to like men relating to women and vice versa that is at the forefront of everybody's mind, but they also sweep it under the rug. Yeah. In the sense that they try to act like it's not important, but this is the governing force and energy and vibration of the world. How many men do we see who deep down inside are unfulfilled and struggling because they can't handle their relationships? How many men, get with a woman after they've built an empire, that relationship breaks and the man breaks? You know what I mean?
No, yeah. 100%.
And how many men lack confidence, lack the ability to get themselves out there and really break through because that crutch is, oh, I'm not good with women. I lack confidence. I can't talk to them. That's like the X factor, I believe, for a lot of men to really take that leap from being good, even if they're in the business world and they're doing well, to being overall well-rounded. But when you look at the way everything is set up, when I would tell people years ago, hey, I'm studying evolutionary psychology, I'm studying the science of attraction, I'm studying the dynamic between men and women, they would make fun of me. Oh, just be yourself, bro. That bullshit they tell you.
Yeah.
Oh no, you just go out there, you be yourself and you talk to girls.
Liquid courage.
Yeah. And then I would tell, okay, dude, you're okay. If that's your theory, I'll be open and listen. Go show me. I'll show you technique. You show me the bullshit that you were taught.
Yeah.
And you beat them every time, right? Because when you look at nature as well, there's a strategy. When animals mate, as much as we want to say we're not animals, I think it's like 80 or 85% of our DNA in some cases is very similar to like, the monkey or the gorilla or a lion.
Yeah.
If you trace it, right? If you do your research. So we have primal instincts when it comes to mating. So I'm not saying we're animals, but there's a process, there's a strategy. When you see, animals mate, you see something happening. You may not be able to decode it unless you study it, but there's something going on. It's not random. It's not random that the alpha of the tribe of the lions has all the women. They want to be with the strongest man, right?
Yeah.
We know that from nature. Look at the world right now. When you look at the dynamics of things happening, we see that. Every celebrity, every person who in this world has the power, the attention, the celebrity status, the money, the resources, all the women want them. God damn it. You watch The fucking Bachelor.
Yeah.
And how many people are like, well, you can't have multiple women, yet every fucking girl is watching that show dreaming about that guy, and he's fucking 10 girls on the show.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's such a contradiction, right? So, I think it is that underlying thing that we want to ignore, but it's infinitely important. And as I've handled myself as a man, learned more, understood that dynamic, that energy and that dynamic is present everywhere, especially in business. And the beauty in this is it's universally applicable, like you mentioned.
Uh-huh.
It permeates not just relationships. It goes into business and how you carry yourself and even down to your ethics as a man. How many men will tell themselves, okay, I'm not going to take shit from a girl. If a girl crosses that line, I'll say something. And then they get a beautiful girl and they start slowly breaking down.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I tell guys. The prettier the girl is, the more shit you'll put up with.
Yeah.
But see, that eats you inside. And that's what ends up destroying the relationship is the woman got with the guy when he was putting his foot down and saying, okay, I'm a man. And he slowly started breaking down and not becoming a man. And then she eventually cheats or leaves him. And that's what happens. But nobody wants to admit that.
And that's because you think it's because of the lack of putting the foot down.
Well, I mean, that's part of it,
Okay.
right? It's whenever they met, there was an attraction from the woman and vice versa for those qualities. And we see people get in a relationship and it shifts. Instead of holding that high standard and continuing to conduct and keep that dynamic like it was in the beginning, there's a lot missed, right? There's a lot missed. And then what do we get? We get a logical explanation of something from nature, right? Something from nature would occur, meaning there's a loss of attraction because the guy loses that alphaness. But then logically, we start making up all these stories. She'll say, oh, well, he just did this and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So there's a logical justification to an imbalance energetically or whatever it is.
But in reality, it's just a loss of alphaness.
Yeah, or something along those lines. Like,
so what do you say? I don't mean to cut you off.
Sure.
But what's your answer to women who, because I've heard before, well, I have to date someone less attractive than me. And it makes me feel secure.
Well, see, they just admitted they're insecure.
Okay.
Right? So but again, I feel as a man, it's your responsibility to bring your woman up and help her with her insecurities.
Okay.
What she lacks, I have. That's what makes me deserving of the woman.
Okay.
If she lacks confidence, I'll help her with confidence because I have confidence. That what I'm referring to is like a mentor role, and I feel like that's been missed in relationships. I mentor my girlfriend. She's like one of my best students, but it's supposed to be that way. Not in this, oh, I'm the shit attitude, but I expect that dynamic with the woman. I want to help her. I want to make her greater, right?
Yes.
And I feel like that's missing in relationships. So, there may be something she can teach me, but when it comes to some of these subjects, sales, communication, confidence, dealing with insecurities, I've handled myself as a man and I continue to handle myself as a man every day. So I can be the example for her and help her and build her up. And so when I look at like an example, like my relationship with my girlfriend that's been 4.5 years, she's had nothing but progress. She's more beautiful. She's more confident. She speaks well. She has a reputation now in the industry. I've helped her build that. But I feel like that's the role as a man. And that's a responsibility that we have that's been lost.
No, 100%. Because I remember talking to you at the gym and you were saying that we're going back and forth about Arash and leading along the way, like holding their hand, showing them right from wrong in a sense, and then guiding them through life's obstacles. And then every once in a while, like Rosh says, to let them step ahead, to build that confidence, and then take a step back and then continue to lead the way.
Absolutely.
So I believe that, now the more that I do my research in terms of the psychology that Arash has brought to the table and stuff like that, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense in terms of the male energy and the role that a male should play. But if you could kind of touch on a little bit more about the ability for a man to maintain a relationship and still have sexual attraction to other women, and that be okay.
Well, when it comes to certain things like that, we know that that's a fact because we ask men, right? And if we poll 100 men, hey, if you're with your woman, if you go and have sex or you feel attraction for another woman, does that mean you're going to leave your girl, or does it mean that there's something lacking in your relationship with the current woman you have? And they say, well, no, because it's in our nature to, in the sense, in quotes, want to spread the seed, right? But a woman that is ours will sit there and protect. That doesn't mean we don't want to go have sex with other girls. Why do you think that for every man, when a beautiful woman walks by, whether they're single or in a relationship, you can't help but look? It's like if you're down the street and a Lamborghini drives by, everyone's fighting not to look, but your DNA is like, look, that's a high value vehicle that's worth fucking $300,000. You just respond to it.
Yeah.
We do the same thing with women, and it's not right or wrong. You see, that's the difference. Is that's just science. Like we were discussing, when a woman is, for example, in love with a man, she's not thinking about another man. She doesn't want to go out and fuck 100 guys. But that's what's brought up to the table when we bring this up. Because everyone wants to say that, oh, well, if he's going to fuck 10 girls, then I'm going to fuck 10 guys. But we don't want to do that. And that's not the dynamic. They think men and women are equal. We're not. We're not. We respond to different things. We are initially attracted to a woman solely based on looks. If I sit here and describe a girl to you, and I don't talk about her looks, I'm like, dude, she's a doctor, she's this. You're like, bro, what the fuck? Does she have titties? Does she have ass? That's what we want to know.
No, 100%.
The woman's the opposite.
Yeah.
Well, does physicality matter as a man? Of course.
Yeah.
But that's, secondary. Yeah. First is, what does he do, right? They're more attracted to confidence, the attraction switches, protector of loved ones, healthy emotions.
How you look on paper.
Yeah, right? So the qualifications as a man, can he lead? Then we're talking about energy. The energy of the female is submissive. It's to follow. And for the man, it's lead. And when you see that off in the dynamic of the relationship, it suffers. Again, I'm not the person who put these rules on the planet. I'm just observing them. And I notice when I follow these certain rules that we're talking about, I'm happier, my woman's happier, and the dynamic just flows, right? We build the house, they make it a home.
Yeah,
100%. That's just how it is. So as much as we want to fight and argue, we look at the evidence, like the divorce rate and how things are being run now, overall, people are not satisfied.
No, I agree 100%. Because I do have some clientele that have open relationships and things like that. Yeah. And I talk to a lot of my clients. I'm very open with them. And it seems that the ones that are happier openly know that their husband, goes around, may have sexual encounters with another woman, but they still feel secure in their relationship.
Yeah.
So in terms of like your relationship, what kind of heat do you get from the outside? Like, I'm sure you get like, well, I know you're with your girl, and you want to go around and mess around with other girls, but isn't that cheating? Doesn't your girl think that's cheating? What's your answer to something like that?
Well, cheating would imply that I'm hiding something or lying. And I'm honest as shit. My girl knows what I'm doing, who I'm with, where I'm at, because I feel like that's part of being a real man, is being honest about shit.
Yeah.
How many men will lie to women and be like, oh, baby, you're my only one, and they're out fucking other girls?
Yeah.
Men are going to do it regardless. Right? And I want people to get that. You may be at home with a relationship. At the very minimum, your man, if you've been together more than, a year, is jerking off to porn, fucking you and thinking about other girls. And that's just the facts, because that's how we are, right? Yeah. And every man will laugh because they're like, well, shit, yeah, he's right. Right? But that's just how we are. The difference is I'm secure. That man that lies to you is insecure because he feels if he's going to be honest with you, he might lose you.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Well, that's what you were saying too. That's a fun fact that you bring up, and says that you have to be willing to lose your woman in order to pursue something like this.
You do. You have to.
And why is that?
Because if not, all of the opposite of what a woman is attracted to and the qualities of a man are brought to surface.
Okay.
Like, think of it in sales too. Do we like the needy salesman? No, because you feel like, damn, this person really needs the sale. They just creep you out. There's something off. But a man who truly is at the top, meaning has confidence and has all of these qualities that would be attractive to a woman, is not gonna fold, right? Because they know, hey, I have options. I am a man. And it really comes down to this, bro. It's your own ethical code, right? The lifestyle and the science and the way nature is senior to me than any particular situation. It's not that I don't love my woman or a woman when I'm in a relationship. I absolutely adore them, but I can't compromise that and my own values just because.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's number one. That's the code of honor as a man. I even got that tattooed right here, honor. You follow the code no matter what. And how many people lose themselves because they compromise themselves?
Yeah.
Like we were saying earlier, they
say relationships are compromise.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
how does that play into fact when something like that?
This is the way it goes down, just so people get it, right? When you enter a relationship with somebody, technically, if you enter in a consenting relationship with somebody, how you guys do it is up to you. I can't judge. No one else can judge because these two adults agree to it. So everything we're discussing when I enter a relationship, this is communicated. And that's like, we can say our rule book together as a couple, me and my girl, or me if I have 10 girls or whatever it is. This is the code and we're both agreeing to it, right? So if somebody comes to me from the outside, I say, well, my girl isn't forced to stay with me. This is an agreement that we both have, that we both conceded to and said, okay, sign right here, we'll follow it. And I'm just holding that standard. You get what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
So we both agreed. So when someone tells me, well, you're doing this and that, I'm like, well, my girl, of course, has the option to leave because even in nature, the final choice is made by the woman.
Yeah.
The dude doesn't press up on the girl. He beats his chest. He does his thing. Then the girl walks to him and then they mate and they get together. She has the final choice. She has the final card to say yes or no. So I'm saying, hey, this is what it is. Would you like to mate with me and be with me? And she's like, okay. So at that point, am I doing anything wrong?
No. Because you're laying it all on the table, 100%
exactly. And I'm being honest about it. Yes. Where other men's like, oh, you're my only one. I want to marry you and have kids just to fuck. And then they're sleeping around with 10 other people, but lying to her face and kissing her on the cheek every night saying, oh, you're my only one, baby.
Yeah.
They're, you know the tricks, bro. Having girls on your phone and putting a guy's name. Like, how sneaky is that?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So who's really the bad guy here? Am I really the bad guy for being honest about it?
No, not at all.
Because she has the choice.
To stay or to leave, yeah, of
now,
course.
is it easy? No. You know why? Because with her, me and everybody else, I'm fighting that fucking conditioning we've had since we were kids about how it's supposed to be. You get what
every
I'm saying?
day there's I'm sure there's weekly, I'm sure there's something that comes up that might spike something. Well, I don't know if I could do this anymore.
Yeah,
well,
every day.
Why are you like this?
And you know what the root is most of the time? It's someone else's influence
on them.
Or the friend, her friend concerned about her, who's just some fucking jealous hoe that's alone and miserable and is hating on her for having a good man.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's always that, because when I sit down with people or my girl and we give these examples, it makes sense if you listen. Like you said, you were watching the videos, you're listening, you're like, okay, this makes sense.
Well, yeah, one of the things that made perfect sense was just the fact that the roles that males and females are supposed to have, like the male is supposed to be the explosion, so to say, as Arash uses, and you go outwards and you acquire, right? And then you bring something back into the woman and she makes something of it. So in a sense, you're still pulling your own weight. It's not like you don't have a woman that doesn't do anything.
Exactly.
You know, she's still I feel like women tend to feel that they lose value when they submit. But that's not necessarily the right way to go about it, because I feel that if a guy can make a woman feel valuable in her role that she's supposed to be pursuing, then she should feel content with herself. I feel it's a lot of times society, like you said, tells women that, okay, things are only supposed to be 50-50. And if it's not 50-50, then I'm submitting, then, it's not being fair, this, that, and the other. Yeah. So in terms of like your relationship, what are some of the questions that your girl gives you when you're trying to, continue your life, rather? It's not even a lifestyle, it's just you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of stuff comes up. In the beginning, a lot of the questions are around like why, and that's when I can always refer back to, and I can't say the source, the universe, God, nature, whatever the fuck it is, right? Yeah. Like that is really the source I can say, but I can sit down and give people like a factual argument about this stuff. It's not like I just say, well, it's what I feel like doing. Like what would our parents say? Hey, why do I have to do this? Because I said so. Yeah. But that's a lot of the answers I get when I question people. Because I don't go out and push this on people. Yeah. I'm just living my life. But I get attacks from people. No, you shouldn't do that.
No, and I like to mention that because this wasn't brought up until a conversation that we just recently had. It's not like you go flaunt it on your Instagram or like let it be known like, hey, I'm some type of badass that this is how you have to live your life. And one of the key points that stood out is that I remember you telling me is that it's a choice, that you really have to do this because it's really you, or is it because you're trying to be cool? Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the things that stood out. And, I've had conversations with a couple of friends, members over here, because I'm pretty open about topics and things like that. And they question it. And they were like, well, it's your delivery. It's all about the delivery on how you make it, or how it appeals to somebody else in a sense. Like if you're trying to do this just to be cool, I'm just going to go around and fuck all these chicks, then obviously you're going to look like a douchebag. But if it's just like, hey, I want to love one woman, I'm going to emotionally invest in one woman, but I'm going to still, get horny. You know what I mean? Like for a lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So in terms of you explaining that to your girl, I mean, I'm sure you can explain it to her time and time again, but there's just something that doesn't click.
Yeah. Well, I mean, stuff comes up, right? I remember she was, in tears a couple times the first couple of years, especially because they just don't want to get it, right? Plus, their parents and again, all the other conditioning. But a lot of times it's a lot of just discussions help with it. For example, I may ask, okay, what's your biggest fear with this lifestyle? And something like this will come out. Well, I'm afraid of losing you. I'm afraid of you talking to another girl and losing me. But then I say, look, take a look at what you get with me as far as like protection, support, and all that stuff versus what I would give another random woman. If another woman comes in and even wants to be sitting at the table with us, she's going to have to invest a lot to get to my girlfriend's position. Meaning she's going to have to do a lot, show a lot, demonstrate a lot to even be able to sit with my girlfriend, right? My girlfriend calls me at 4 a.m, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Someone else calls me at 3 or 4 in the morning, I'm probably not going to respond and be like, okay, like what the fuck? So there's levels to this shit with that investment that you have with your woman. See, a lot of people think that, oh, you're just doing that with your girl and fucking chicks and there's like nothing that you give. I'm willing to take care of her. I'm willing to pay for everything and do everything if I have to. Now she works for me and she's a badass on her own. The only difference is in this relationship, she submits to me, which if you submit to the right person as a woman, that's the problem. They're submitting to the wrong guys. If they submit to the right man who leads, like we said, energetically, look at the sex organs. What do you do as a male? You get hard. It leads. It's like a fucking spear, and the woman receives, right? So I think a lot of it has to do with people's lack of communication and really getting to the bottom of stuff. Because if we have an issue, we handle it.
Yeah.
What's up? You feeling this? Okay, cool. What is it? Well, da-da-da. And we handle it. All I need to do is talk to her and ask her questions and discuss it. And within 10 minutes, everything's okay. Because it's a fear or a concern of losing you most of the time.
And does that mean that in terms of, say a man is in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
I'm in a relationship. Is that something that a woman has to naturally have an open mindset about? Or is that something you have to deliver to her and make her think that way?
Yeah. I mean, but even look at the parameters of that, bro. Like a relationship, like marriage has changed tremendously. If people don't know, do your research over the last couple hundred years. Back in the old days, marriage was just to keep wealthy families wealthy and continue the riches and pass down the legacy. But nowadays, it's supposed to be love and this and that. It's a contract. It's literally a government contract. And people don't know that, So we need to open our eyes a little bit. But, when it comes to a relationship, you said it earlier, bro. When I discuss this with people, it's the delivery. At first, they don't get it. Like I'll meet somebody, let's say it's women, and within a minute or two, I'm showing them who my girlfriend is. And they're kind of like, then the questions come out, well, you're going out. Does she know? I'm like, yeah, absolutely she knows. But as they learn more, they're not against it, most women.
And then plus, since it's like against the norm, it's more attractive.
Exactly. But see, when you do that, you're displaying the qualities that make you attractive to a woman. One of the biggest attraction switches for women is pre-selection, they called it, meaning another woman has selected you as their man. Because that signals to them he has something. Why the guy that goes to the club with 6 girls, every girl wants to be around him? You would think logically, well, he already has 6 girls. But every girl's looking at him, oh, who's that? Are those his girls? Like, there's interest there. Yeah. Every other dude in the club sitting on the wall holding a drink becomes invisible, and it's all about that guy.
Yeah.
You watch like the old videos back in the day of like the Backstreet Boys. You see the video, there's like a million girls, all of them. And I've even asked girls, who's your celebrity crush? They're like, oh, Brad Pitt. Cool, so if Brad Pitt had you as one of his chicks, but he had more than one chick, would you be okay with it if he protected you, took care of you? Before I even finish the sentence, oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the same shit about Drake.
Yeah.
That's even, because I've heard girls like, oh my God, Drake's my celebrity crush. The things I would do to Drake. I'm like, Drake's probably fucked like over 1 million chicks. And you'd be the next one in line and you'd be like, I'll be perfectly okay with it.
When the value of the man, it's just like the opposite. If the girl is like a 10 to us, we put up with the shit and we're like, fuck, we'll do whatever it takes to get her. That mechanism exists in the woman too. It's just different. It's not looks. That's what people don't get. So for the right man, she'll do it. And that's the key, for the right man. But again, when I look at myself as a man, like in the dating world or out there compared to other men, I'm not the average I'm not a fucking bum living on the street saying, hey, I'm going to have 10 girlfriends and I deserve everything. I've earned my position and I continue to earn my position every day.
It's funny that you say that because that's something that I've subconsciously thought too, even prior to being kind of having this conversation or being where I'm at. It's almost that I feel that you can attract a higher quality of woman the more that you have to bring to the table. And I think it works vice versa too. It's like if you are...
That's nature, bro.
Yeah.
That's how it is in nature.
It's crazy that it's like that. It's because it's funny that you say it's not always about looks. It's more about what you bring to the table. Because yeah, you can have like a smoking hot girlfriend, but if she can't do shit or provide you with anything, then what's the purpose? You know, it's more than just sex. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what's missed. Like even when I meet new girls, I'm not just rushing to fuck them. I take my time. I'm very particular who I spend my time with. And I'll tell girls, I have a bunch of girls on the outside that I'm like, I'm glad we're friends. Yeah. And I even tell them, you're cool, you're beautiful, obviously, but like I wouldn't want more than that because what I'm looking for and what I want in a woman, you don't have. And that's fine because everybody's their own individual. And they're kind of like, what the fuck?
And then when you say that, I'm going to cut you off. When you say what I'm looking for, is that because you're constantly looking for the next best thing or just looking for someone to have a sexual encounter with?
Not really. I mean, it's tough to say exactly, but I'm to the point now where I don't just go off impulse like most men. Most men, when they meet a girl, you know, whether they message you on Instagram or Facebook or they're out there talking to you, ask a woman. They're way more intuitive than we are. They know when a dude's just trying to fuck. And a lot of girls talk to me and they say they feel really comfortable with me because they don't get that vibe from me that I'm just trying to get in their pants. So I'm genuinely trying to get to know a woman. So even if I feel the impulse to like go after them, I'll hold it because I know that's the right thing to do too. So I'm not necessarily always just looking to have sex with the next girl, but I do want quality men and women in my life. So when I'm out socializing, of course, I'm always looking for that, right? I'm looking for the person who will sit down and have a discussion like this about this, which more and more people are having.
Yeah.
But some people are just against it. And I'll be straight up with you, dude. Normally, and this is just facts based on my experience, the woman who's beautiful will vibe with what I'm saying. The chick who's depressed, right, who maybe has had some bad experiences, and normally who's not as attractive, right, and more of like the hardcore independent feminists, they'll try to shit on what I'm doing
because they've never had a strong male in their life.
Yeah, or whatever it is. But the chicks who buy into the opposite so hard, you know, they're normally the ones against me, and that number I believe continues to decline because as more people listen, and we're entering that era where people are waking up a little bit more. If they listen to this, it makes sense. Right? And the woman who's looking for that man, and normally on average who's more attractive and about it, like, okay, I want a good man, they'll listen to this and be like, fuck yeah. Because I've done so many seminars and speeches now where I'll go to like a real estate conference and then like my whole session will be on this because people are interested in this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And a lot of people are suffering in their business because they don't have this shit handled. And everyone in the audience is like, yeah, that makes sense. They don't have that one fucking asshole in the corner. That's bullshit. But 99% of the room is like, oh shit, okay, he's making sense.
Makes sense.
You know, and I've done stuff where I'll bring my girlfriend and I'll ask her questions in front of everybody. And they'll see how she responds. And they're like, oh shit, we just need the right representatives.
Yeah.
That's why I love Arash. He puts everything out there. He's like, ask me questions. He's like, you think my girls aren't my girls? Try to message them. Try to get them. So he's open, like, bring it on. I can handle what you're bringing with my facts and my intelligence and my communication. That's what I love about him.
That's what, he just spits a bunch of facts. I just had a question right now and I just had a brain fart. When it comes to the qualities of a man that females look for, what are those qualities in your eyes? Like, what do you have to bring to the table as a man? What makes you a man?
Yeah, obviously. So the DNA of a woman responds to certain things. So we talked about the ability that other women are attracted to you, or you have a current girlfriend. That's one of the biggest attraction switches for them. And again, when I say attraction from a woman, I don't mean they want to fuck you. I mean they want to talk to you and they're interested, right? Attraction for us is we want to fuck. We can decide, and correct me if I'm wrong, within seconds if we want to fuck a girl. And that's our first thought. True or true?
True.
And to any lady listening, any woman, a man has sized you up before they approached you 20 times and has already imagined having sex with you 30 times before they even say hi to you, right? That's true. Right? And that's just the way we're wired, though. So it's, let's see, pre-selection, you have successful risk taker, meaning you're out there hunting and doing your thing, but you're actually having success, meaning you're accumulating resources. And resources can be money. It could be attention, celebrity status. Also, another one is leader of men, meaning you lead and other people listen to you, but you can also lead with your energy. You're decisive. You make decisions. Even with my friends, that are females. I'm like, hey, tomorrow meet me at this time at this place. And they're like, wow, it's nice that somebody finally decides because everyone else fucking asks me what I want to do and they're too passive. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something that simple, right? Healthy emotions is a big one, right? I'm not sharing videos of cats being killed and I'm laughing like, look, that's funny. And that's overlooked.
Yeah.
Like healthy emotions,
Yeah.
right? If someone's sad, I'm like, what's wrong? I'm not laughing at them like, loser. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those are, I would say, some of the most important ones. But more than anything, it's your vibe. Are you leading? Are you a fucking man? Right? When it comes time. And here's the last one that I think is overlooked. It's, do you stand for something? I stand for shit. Right? That's why my following, for example, I have the people who hate my fucking guts and I have the people who ride with me and love me. There's a clear fucking line. But to get to that point, you have to stand for something. Right? I'm not the person who's neutral on everything. Because we know deep down inside, and I know the person who's neutral has picked a side. They're just too chicken shit to pick a side.
That's true.
Like the old friend, I like both of you, so I'm going to be neutral.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. You've picked the fucking side. You're just too pussy to fucking say, well, I'm with Aaron or I'm with Bryan. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, but again, it takes courage to pick a side and then deal with the criticism that comes with it. But I feel like a man should be able to handle it.
And that's where you feel that, or where I feel, because you made a comment about how this level of thinking or this style of thinking is most related to a business person because they're able to deal with ridicule, obstacles, and things like that. You can handle the picking the side and what comes with it. You know what I mean? But most people that aren't exposed to that stuff maybe have a hard time handling something like that.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And then I look at like my relationship too, and this is the best relationship I've ever had because we shared so many intimate details about each other. We trust each other. It's fucking great, dude. Like we know stuff about each other that no one else knows. I know stuff about her and her past that, you know, even her parents don't know, right? So it's cool to get to that level with somebody, but you would think that someone would always have their guard up because like you're talking to other girls or whatever. But when you're honest and someone can trust you, you open up a different, like you unlock level 3 in the relationship. You know, like in the video game when you would unlock
Game
the level.
breaker and shit.
Now I'm okay. And this is what people miss. When you get one, you get the other. So I know at some point a friendship, a business partner, a relationship is going to betray me. That's just a fact of this life. You're going to be fucking betrayed. And I accept that. That's why I have the ability to trust. So therefore, like in a new relationship, I will give somebody my trust until they break it. So I'm like, okay, fuck it. There you go. I'll give you my trust.
That's a super key valid point because I feel even I've caught myself in times before having a hard time to do that. You know what I mean? Because of past experiences like, hey, you know what? I don't know. I have an iffy feeling about this one.
Yeah.
And then you don't go all in. And then you sabotage yourself.
You're 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Exactly.
And see, and to me, and I used to be the same way. It took a while to really be like, okay, fuck it, because you have to be vulnerable to do that.
Yeah.
But I can be vulnerable with my woman and vice versa. But again, I feel as the man, you should go first. You should show them. Just like in sales. You want to sell somebody and persuade at the highest level, you got to go first.
That's a solid point, dude.
You know what I mean?
That's super solid.
So, you know, when people keep listening, they see this as layered. It's not just a macho, I'm the man. Nobody tells me shit.
And that's kind of what I was telling people about this conversation. And I was super excited to have you on the podcast because you didn't come off as like a fucking asshole or a douchebag. Like, hey, I'm doing this for, you know, for the hurrah or whatever. It's backed by facts. Yeah. And then when, you know, even when Arash, when I listen to his stuff, because you see a lot of guys on YouTube, they're just full of shit. Oh, you got to do this, try this, tell her this, you know, wow her. Yeah. But this dude is literally coming back from facts. Like when one of the examples that he gave was when it comes to birds, you know, the male builds the nest, then, you know, the female bird comes and lays the eggs and the man goes out and, you know, gets the worms and brings them back to the nest and is able to thrive. And he comes back because, you know, obviously the female has given him like offspring or whatever. Yeah. Same thing in the example that he made when it's like when a man goes out and works, you know, acquires groceries for whatever. And then the woman comes back and makes a meal. Then the man has to have something to come back to. Yeah. Right? Right. Is that something that's
absolutely and we feed like, you know, and men need women and women need men. Like the dynamic is both of us. It's the male and female, like the yin and yang merging. You can't just have yin and just like it's the harmony of both of them together. Right. And I think that's what's been kind of fumbled and missed. You know, the number one complaint I get from women is like, oh, men are pussies. Like they're not leading anymore and they're soft. And I'm like, well, shit. But this is something of me leading and being, you know, strong. Yeah. And then you still get backlash for it. So everything is like ass backwards. But I 100% agree with that, dude. 100%.
So do you feel the reason why women cheat in a relationship is because their man is not leading correctly?
Yeah. Like if my girl was to step out on me, I'm not going to be mad at the other man. I'm going to look at myself and say, fuck, what did I do?
Yeah.
You know, that's where most men fuck up. The girl goes with another guy. They want to go kill the other guy or shoot the other guy.
Exactly. Is that because you lack of like, you didn't fuck her correctly? Or is that because you didn't lead, you didn't provide, you didn't acquire correctly? Are all those components to...
They're all pieces to the puzzle, bro.
Okay.
And most people define relationships based on sex.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're fucking somebody else. That's bullshit. It's like, dude, see, you're defining a relationship by just sex, which is where people fuck up. It's an important component, but it's not the only component. So it can be a lot, man. It can be a lot. And, you know, all that stuff adds up. But again, I would take responsibility and say, shit, okay, I did something wrong. So that forces me as a man too to level up every day and stay sharp.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the type of person to get in a relationship and then be like, and I've heard this from people who get married. Oh, we're married now. The chick's like, I can get fat. I can do whatever I want. I'm like, really? Now, we joke about that, but that's what fucking happens.
Yeah.
You know, so I even tell my girl all the time when we sit down, I'm like, I don't want a relationship ever to get stale or boring, right? We got to stay sharp. You got to get, you know, prettier. I got to get fucking better. I got to make more money. We got to keep fucking leveling up and just taking it to the next. And that's the thing is when I make any decision in the relationship, I don't think me, I think us.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's also the role of the man. Now, a woman's nature, she's not going to think that way. Most women, right? But it's a DNA thing. It's
How's a woman going to think then?
For herself.
Okay.
Case in point. And now, again, this isn't good or bad. It's just their nature. This is what people miss. The male energy being, you know, penetrating, order, and hers being chaos and all that. That's not good or bad. That's just the energy. This is where people try to attack me. You know what I mean? So, like I was saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? If you disagree or if you think I'm off. Whenever I take... This has been my experience too, and it's the simplest example. I'll take a picture that'll include a girl, and you show the girl. What's her first instinct? She looks at herself.
Yeah.
And
how do I look?
And if the picture is perfect, but she looks off, you got to redo the picture. So it's in her fucking code to be like, no, we got to redo it. That's her thinking about herself first, as an example, simple example, versus the group. Versus us, we could be like, maybe I don't look the best, but the picture came out good. Fuck it, post it, or it's okay. She'll be like, no, right? That's a demonstration that she's thinking of herself over the group. And again, not right or wrong, but that's her nature. Because back in the day, if she was with the wrong dude, back in the caveman days, she was fucked.
Yeah.
She got pregnant by the wrong dude, she's fucked. If he can't protect her, he can't provide, she's screwed. Because the woman's body still thinks, if I'm having sex, I'm getting pregnant, and this dude needs to take care of me. You know, the body still doesn't know about condoms and all that. We still have that primitive ass DNA. How about the men listening? How many of you, as soon as you fucking ejaculate, you're like, fuck this chick? Yeah. It's not that you will never talk.
That's another point that you brought up.
It's not that you'll never talk to her again, but women.
That's not the one that you want to mate with.
They don't get it. And they're like, wait, you don't love me anymore? We're like, no, just give me some space. I'm good. Because our emotion literally goes out with our semen.
Yeah.
Versus the woman after having sex with you wants to get closer to you because she's like, okay, this is my man. He's going to take care of me now.
Yeah.
But people don't get that. So the dude will like go to the bathroom and maybe go sit down and watch TV. And she's like, what the fuck? So that's why me knowing that, I'll talk to my girl and reassure her after we have sex or something, right? Because I know how their code works. So understanding this stuff, you make the dynamic better. Because then it might just take one comment, you know? For her to be secure.
Yeah.
And again, that's the role of the man, helping her be more secure, like I said earlier. So, you know, there's just so much with the subject, dude, but it interested me so much because I see the root of suffering for most people is this.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand it.
Before we take some questions, how I know one of the questions that I've gotten is because you can't just go from a man. You can, I guess, internally think this way and be like, you know what? It makes sense now that you bring it to light that maybe that's how I should have approached my relationship. But say if you're already in a relationship, how do you go about approaching that and not to like things for to go AWOL?
Well, the biggest thing is you need obviously better understanding of this. So you're going to have to like, you know, get around somebody and learn from like a Rosh who really understands this. Read. There's a lot of great books people can read that I can recommend now that they go look. And I'll name 4 in particular, right? And they can, you know, listen to when you actually release the podcast or the recording. Sperm Wars is a great book. And again, this isn't right or wrong. This is science. This is facts. Okay. And it goes into evolutionary psychology. Sperm Wars, you have The Evolution of Desire, which is another book. You have The Red Queen, The third one and the fourth one is The Mating Mind. The Mating Mind. Great reads for everybody. Men and women, I recommend they all read it. Everybody needs to understand this shit.
Okay.
Now, if you're in a relationship and you're a man and you decide this is something you want to do, at that moment that you say, I want to do this, you need to be okay losing that girl. It's possible that your relationship will break. Okay? Now, if you want to go about it where you're going to be firm and, educate your woman, she has to be open to listen to it and to understand the change in the dynamic that's going to happen. And a lot of people can't handle that.
Yeah.
However, when I made that decision before I had this relationship that I currently have with Loida, I said, I'm okay with this not working out because I need to live my life this way. This is the correct way. And when you make any change in your life, in a belief or a philosophy, your reality shakes because you're now operating on a different code and a different matrix code. So it's like you're in a different
realm,
software now. So your current friends, your current circumstances are going to shake. And you have to be willing to go through that or you're going to fall back into the old pattern. It's like people that dabble in this.
Yeah.
They want to believe it, but then they won't live it,
Yeah.
They're listening. They're like, oh, that makes sense. But then when it comes time to say something, they won't say it.
Yeah.
So you have to be okay with everything changing. And in most cases, that could mean losing your current relationship. So it's a personal decision that you have to make.
Is that something you established, you tried in your last relationship or only tried in this current relationship?
No. Now, you asked me earlier, I didn't answer. Has the seed always been there for me? Yes. I just thought I was like this anomaly. I was like, does no one else fucking think this?
Yeah.
And because I hadn't found a Rosh or read any material on it, I literally started thinking I was fucked up in the head. Because I remember telling my girlfriend in high school, I'm like, I like you, but I want to talk to other girls. But I was telling her.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you're a piece of shit and this and that. And other people would tell me that too. I was like, am I really a bad person? But I'm not lying to her. I'm telling her.
Yeah.
This is me at 15 or 16, bro. But of course, everyone else is like, no, you can't do that. So I'm like, oh shit, am I bad? I started thinking I was a bad person, bro. And it fucked with me mentally. Yeah. Then I started reading and, I found a Rosh and I got into the whole dating aspect and dating world. I was like, yes, this is what I've been thinking. I'm not fucking flawed. I just needed somebody who had more experience and was more intelligent to explain it to me. And I was like, oh shit, finally.
Yeah.
And I thought I was fucking nuts. I literally almost thought I was insane, bro, until I found this. And I'm like, yes, this makes sense. Then I went all in. Then from that moment forward, I said, living correctly, we can say, based on this, to me, is senior over everything, any particular moment.
And then did you say at that point your business started to thrive?
Oh, yeah. My confidence went up. People look at you a different way, right? Women respond to you a different way. If you're a dude watching this, women respond to you a different way because they notice very quickly, even on an energetic level, you're not like every other guy. Because when they say certain things, when they walk around and look at guys a certain way, they respond a certain way. I don't respond like they do anymore. When they show interest, because girls will do that too. They'll show a little bit of interest just to know that they got you. And if you show interest back, they're like, okay, I already have this guy.
Yeah.
And when you're not responding, they're like, wait, who is this? That's signaling their DNA. Okay, this is a guy you need to get to know more. So again, on paper, logically, none of what we talk about makes sense to attract a woman and be more fulfilled, but it works. I remember learning this a long time ago. What women say and what they respond to are two completely different things.
Example.
Let's look at a high school.
Okay.
The girl, she would, oh, that guy's an asshole. 2 weeks later, she's fucking him.
Yeah.
Or around him.
Yeah.
And you're like, but I'm nice and, I'm being nice to the girl. But she's, this jock is fucking all the girls, right? That's an example. They'll talk shit about him, but see, he's triggering her emotionally. So her mind logically is like, don't be with him. But her body is like, you need to be with him. Because he's displaying some quality. Back in high school, we didn't get this shit.
Yeah.
We're just all fucking hungry for sex, I want to go to the party and hook up with this chick. Now, when alcohol gets involved, it could, change things because, you're obviously you're literally out of your mind. But in high school and elementary school, you would see this dynamic happen. The dude who seemed to not give a fuck was getting all the chicks. The dude who wasn't pushing up on the chicks and just maybe was the jock. Because in the high school setting, the star athlete, he's the celebrity. So of course all the girls run that way. Unless you were a dude who happened to be the pretty boy of the pretty boy who was genetically perfect, then your looks could help you. But I don't know many people who are genetically perfect. I don't know about you, but I don't want to bank on that. I want to bank on understanding because then I can do things properly. Okay. People will attack me too. Well, this isn't real. You're not being organic. How come every time we go out, girls wear push-up bras, the pads on their ass, makeup, do certain things with their hair, glitter on the fucking eyebrows?
Yeah.
That's a mating strategy that they're doing to be more attractive. So why can't
filters and shit like that?
Why can't we have strategy?
Yeah.
Right? Of course, they're doing it. It's that their way is accepted, ours isn't. Like I told you earlier, I'll get made fun of for this, but when we go out and I'm talking to the waitress and she's laughing, we're having a good time, and everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Well, it's because I know shit you don't know, bro. You know what? Next waitress that comes, you show me how to be yourself. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
And then they're like being all awkward.
I need to go out and sit in on this shit in the demo and just fucking observe.
And I'm not doing anything out of this world. I'm just displaying those qualities. I'm not being needy. I'm being very relaxed. I'm not hitting on the girl. So if they're wondering like, oh, these are all sleazy pickup lines. No, you'll never hear me hit on a girl. I don't hit on women. If I give even my girlfriend a compliment, it's a genuine compliment that she's beautiful or whatever it is. I don't just, oh, you're so pretty. The dude saying that's a fucker. I don't do that because that's not proper. And it makes her feel like shit. Right?
Why is that?
Well, because the woman knows when you're being disingenuous.
Okay.
Oh, those are nice. You go to the gas station. Oh, so do you always pump gas here? Guys will say stupid shit like that.
I'm trying to pump your ass right now.
Yeah, exactly. That puts the woman in an awkward situation, but she's been hit on so much. The woman socially, by the time if they're pretty
just
at all,
she's
a lot more seasoned than the man who has to muster up the courage to.
Yeah.
So that mechanism, like when we go approach a girl, especially if she's pretty and we get a little nervous, because I still get nervous, it's the wiring.
Yeah.
The woman feels the same nervousness when you're about to have sex with her for the first time. So if you remember the last time you had sex with a girl for the first time, they're always a little bit like, right?
Yeah.
That's that same feeling we get when we're going to approach the girl. And when I say that to girls, they're like, oh, you get that feeling too? Like, so again, the mechanism that we have, the woman has that mechanism too. It's just different.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's crazy. But when you break this science down, dude, it's not sleazy pickup lines. It's just the proper way of mating, the way it's supposed to be.
It makes sense. It makes fucking 100% sense.
Yeah. And again, like you said, I don't push this on people. I'm like, dude, if a girl's like, oh, that's not for me, cool. That's fine. I'm not going to sit here and try to fucking convince you.
Yeah.
Because I've had girls say, well, no, my man, this and that. Okay, cool. That's fine. It's not for everybody.
Like, oh, I don't like to share this, that, and the other.
Yeah. And that's the thing is they're not sharing. That's what they don't get. But
why is that? How do you explain to a woman that you're not sharing your man?
Well, sharing would imply that the man's not yours. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But if I'm people mess up the word commitment. They say, well, you're not committed to the girl. Well, absolutely I am, because she comes first.
Yeah.
She gets my time, my resources, my emotions. My girl, for example, can affect my emotions. I will not let any other woman or person affect my emotions and get to me, but I'll let her because we're in a relationship.
Because you're vulnerable.
And I'm vulnerable with her, but not everybody else. So they get a level of me that other people don't get.
And that's only you let you affect your or her affect your relationship, or I'm sorry, she can only affect your emotions, or friends can also affect your emotions too as well.
I mean, friends too.
Okay.
But I mean, like if we're talking like intimacy between you and your woman at that level, then yeah, you know? And then like if we have an issue or something's wrong, I'll stick with her until it's resolved versus somebody else. Let's say you have somebody who's like an acquaintance, then you have a little bit of drama. You're like, okay, fuck this person. Like I don't even care about him. With her, I won't do that.
Yeah.
If we have the slightest problem, I'll stay until we handle it. If I have to cancel something to be with her, we'll handle it. You know, if something comes up with her or she needs me or whatever, I'm there. I'm like fucking Superman. Oh my God, I need you for this? Okay, I'm there. What's up? Right? And I go above and beyond to help her.
Yeah.
You know, so if we were to sit down with my girlfriend and she would tell you what I do for her, I guarantee you a lot of women would probably be like, wow, I wish my man would do that.
Yeah.
And then in the same breath, they're telling you, well, you can't be with other girls.
Yeah.
But they'll say, I want my man to do that. You know what I mean? Same thing.
It's like a give and take.
Gifts. I buy her gifts all the time. I don't wait for her birthday to shower her with shit. I tell her I love her every day. Same thing with my mom. I don't just wait for Mother's Day. I buy her shit all the time. And I show my affection to my mother too, which is important if you're a guy. A girl will ask you how your relationship is with your mom. And if you have a bad relationship with your mom, you're going to lose that girl. That falls back on healthy emotions.
Yeah. Well, naturally, I have a bad relationship with my mom.
So did I, but I fixed it.
Yeah. And that's just because of my outlook on how she thinks I treat women. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Oh, my mom doesn't agree with this either. No way.
She was like, well, you know what? Because I have a daughter, right?
Yeah.
And I got out of my last relationship because I wasn't getting what I wanted out of the relationship. But then to me, my mom, I'm a bad person to my mom because I'm doing what I want to do. And I try and salvage a relationship, or I try and tell her, okay, well, this is how I'm going to do things. You know, I'll listen to you out 100%, but I don't expect you to dictate how I'm going to run my life. You know what I mean? So I guess that's something that I have to do and go and, you know, fix that somehow, some way. I mean, I'm still in the process of trying to figure that one out, but
of course,
we'll see, because I get labeled as the bad person.
one thing that helped me a lot is I was taught, I think it was in a private conversation I had with Arash. He said something powerful. He said, grant people their beingness, meaning let them be how they're going to be without feeling like you need to change them or letting it get to you. So like my parents are the same way. My mom completely disagrees with how I run my relationships, always tells me something about it, but now I just kind of giggle.
Yeah.
But I can have a conversation with her and sit down with her, Mom, how are you? And I can have a good time. I just know from a communication standpoint, I need to be the responsible one.
Yeah.
Not let her get to me and understand, hey, this is just the way my mom is. She's, my mom is 63 now. She has 63 years of a certain conditioning. She's not going to change.
Exactly.
And it's wrong for me to try to force change on her. Allow her to live how she wants. I know deep down inside she wants a fulfilling relationship with her son.
Yeah.
I'm going to give her that.
And I know my mom wants that.
Yeah.
That's funny that you say that because that's what she tells me. She's like, well, I want you to be open with me. I'm like, okay, well, you have to, hear me out at least and not, come back with that female characteristic of, just like the outlandish behavior in a sense, or like, no, that's wrong. This is how it's supposed to be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So two things I can add to that, bro, is people need to remember, like, our mothers are still women, so they have that wiring that we need to understand. That women out in the dating world, our moms are wired the same way. So here's an example. One thing that kind of used to get on my nerves that my mom I knew didn't realize was she still, in a sense, had the conditioning that I was like a little kid. So everywhere we used to go when I was a kid, she would say, hey, make sure you say hi to everybody. It was like a polite social thing. A couple of years ago, we went to a house. I decided to go with her and my mom, her and my dad, to a family friend's house that I hadn't been there. I was like, fuck it, I'll spend some time with you guys. I'll go. And she said that when we walked in. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to handle this properly. So I said, Mom, can I talk to you over here in this room for a second? So we go in the room privately. I close the door. I say, I love you, Mom. Now I noticed something, this habit that you have from when I was a child. Do you know what that is? And she's like, what? And I said, when we come into a place, you always used to tell me, say hi to everybody, right? Now, I'm letting you know because I'm an adult now, right? And I know to do that because you taught me. See, so I'm feeding her.
Yeah.
You taught me to do that, which I love you for, but I already know now. You don't have to keep reminding me.
Yeah.
So when we go somewhere, just know that I already know it and you don't have to tell me. Cool? And she's like, oh, okay, yeah. We leave, we go back to the party. She hasn't said it since. So from a communication standpoint,
it's leading the direction.
I led. I said, Mom, step over here. So all the stuff I did, but I knew, okay, I'm going to use strategy. So she did teach me that. I remember that because my mom taught me. So I said, you taught me that. I love you for that. Because to this day, when I go anywhere, I'm the first one to say hi to everybody. So it's an advantage for me. So thank you for that. And that's why I love you, because you taught me stuff like that. So that gives her I did it right with my son. But then I let her know, hey, I'm an adult now. You don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So I communicated to her properly something that she was unaware that she was doing, that then moving forward, our dynamic is better because that was causing an upset. Versus, God damn it, Mom, stop telling me that shit, how most people do it. Or they don't say anything. They're like, fucking Mom always says that shit, and they'll hold it in. So that's an example of something that I did to improve the relationship with my parents, that people, or I'll get, well, you can't talk to your mom that way. What I said, was that offensive?
Yeah. No, I mean, no, it wasn't, but I'm,
right?
Yeah.
But again, who's telling me that? So that person who gives me that question, I'm like, how's your relationship with your parents? I start questioning them if they want to attack me.
Yeah, because me and my dad have a great relationship.
Yeah.
I just feel my mom has this, like, she's trying to contain me in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, no, don't do this. You need to do this.
Yeah.
This is how, okay, what is your daughter going to think, when you get older or when she gets older?
Yeah.
It's like, well, if I'm living true to myself, I'm doing, she's going to show that, she's going to see that I'm this sense of alpha, like that she needs to pick someone like me.
Yeah.
You know?
So like similar to like I am with my girlfriend, I sometimes am with my mom. So if my mom would tell me something like that, I'd be like, Mom, what's your biggest fear?
Yeah.
Why is that a concern for you? And I'm just going to keep digging deeper to get the root of it.
Yeah.
Because then I can handle it.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I want you to be a good dad, then you'll find out the truth. And that's maybe the conversation that you need to have, where it might not be fun and it'll probably be awkward because she's probably going to be like, but you need to be calm and keep digging and then let her know. And a lot of times it's just us reassuring our parents, hey, I got this. I know it's different, but I got this. I know exactly what you mean. You want me to be a great dad. And that's one of my, values as a man, is I want to be a good dad because Dad was such a good dad with me and you were a great mom. I want you to know that I'm going to take care of my daughter.
Yeah.
Like, you need to know that. Like, that's my mission. And they're going to be like, oh shit, okay. Now, I don't know if you've told them that.
Yeah,
right? But
we've gotten to the conversations that, but it's something
Yeah.
that I need to take the time out and better approach it. And it's funny that kind of how this all stumbled upon in this particular time of my life
Yeah.
when these conversations are arising, and it kind of gets things spinning a little bit. It's like, okay, well, normally I would probably handle this situation this way, but let's try it this way.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's being kind of receptive to that different way of going about things.
And again, like I always said, I'm the type of person that I'm always in these situations, I'm going to take full responsibility and say, it's on me to improve this. I want a better relationship with my parents. It's on me to do it. I'm not just going to, law of attraction, talk about it every day and it's going to happen. No, I'm going to have to fucking do it. Pull my pants up. If it's awkward, it's awkward, but I'm going to get this shit done, which again, that's the manifestation of male energy. We get shit done. Back in the day, we had to go hunt, kill the fucking lion to get the meat. We fucking did it. We fucking constructed tools to fucking throw the spear. We did it. So, but we were a man on a mission, period. And I think when you embody that, you start doing all these things that you wanted to do, things that used to be a problem get fixed, and it makes life better.
I agree 100%. Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate all of this great content that you're providing. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I want to grab that phone real quick.
Absolutely.
And
Let's do it.
See if there's any questions on there.
Careful, bro. They might throw some panties at you.
Shit, I know. Fuck. I'm ready for it. Let's see. How do I go back and let's see. Can't pull it up. Let's see. I don't think this is what most girls expected from the interview. Bottom line, high value makes you want more than one girl.
Well, what a lot of people don't know too, dude, is, back in the day, the emperors and the kings of the lands, they'd have their queen and they would have a concubine of 800. They could pick any woman they want to have sex with and they still had their queen. You know what I mean? But people don't know that. Another thing is they think in
this... You guys have any more questions, throw them in. I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, they think that this relationship is like your girl doesn't do anything. No, my girl is submissive with me, but when she's out doing her thing, she's strong as fuck. She is a strong representative, my girl in particular, for women in real estate. She helps them. She's traveling and speaking too at women empowerment seminars and helping them. So when she's out doing her thing, we can say in quotes, alpha. But with me, we're not butting heads like two fucking lions. She's submissive with me, her man. But she's still out handling shit, making money, progressing, doing her shit. Because if you look at business and how it is, that's a very male energy type of thing because you're out, you're selling, you're hustling.
Yeah.
So she has to take that energy when she's out and use it.
Do something with it.
Yeah. So she has to embody that male energy a little bit. But again, that's where we come in and we help guide that and channel that,
I lost it for a second. If you guys have any questions, I know there were some of you that posted a couple questions, but I closed it out on accident. Let's see if anybody throws any more questions. What are some common questions that you get?
Is she okay with it?
Okay.
Right? And I don't think it's a matter of being okay with it. It's a matter of understanding. For example, if she brings up jealousy or that she's a little bit uncomfortable, I let her know, that's the actual reminder that you're attracted to me. So let's say you go out and you meet a new girl, right? And you're out there, you're single, right? The moment the girl realizes she's attracted to you is if another girl starts talking to you and taking your attention and she's there and she's kind of starting to fight for your attention, or she's like, I want him to talk to me. That's the moment she's like, oh shit, I think I like this guy.
Yeah.
So it's the other woman there that lets her know, oh shit. And I think one of the main reasons, if people are we can call a monogamous relationship, one of the reasons that a woman will stay is if she knows other women are after her man.
Oh, wow.
Even though she will get jealous, because that's a normal mechanism.
Yeah.
Of course, you want to protect what's yours, right? That's normal. But that's also a reminder to them. It's a harsh reminder, but it's a reminder that, okay, you want to be with this guy. You care. Because if the moment a woman's like, okay, no other man or no other woman wants my man and he doesn't have a shot with another woman, that's when they really start losing interest.
Okay.
And they'll slowly start talking to other guys. And how about this one, right? And most people understand this in the one-on-one traditional relationship. Just from my standpoint, why is it socially acceptable for the woman to have male friends and talk to them and hang out with them, but the guy isn't supposed to talk to any other girls? And then they're surprised when they break up, the girl has another boyfriend within a week or two. See, the issue is that was already set up by her beforehand. There was already a plan B and an out way before. So that man was already there. They were spending time together. They're probably already having sex. long before you broke up. And then when you broke up, within a week or two or a month max, she's with the other dude.
Yeah.
You think that just spontaneously happened? That shit was planned. Now, see, they may not be masterminding it like, okay, I'm going to do this and that. It just fucking happens, dude. It just fucking happens.
Real quick, someone wants to know, can you state the 4 books again?
Yeah, Sperm Wars, that's the first one. The Evolution of Desire, that's the second one. The Red Queen, that's the third one. And The Mating Mind, that's the fourth one.
Okay, another person says, when are you going to let a woman join in on this conversation?
Whenever they want.
Yeah.
Whenever they want. And again, just so people know, there are, we can call exceptions to the rule. There will be that one woman who's like, fuck that, I don't want it. And there'll be that one dude who's like, I'm cool with one girl. But again, that's the odd rarity. You know what I mean? They're the exception to the rule. That's normally an argument I get too. Well, this one person I know, it's like, well, yeah, there are going to be fucking anomalies, of course.
One of the comments that stood out to me is when you said whether or not you let your girl respond back to other guys. What can you explain that whole situation again?
So early on, because you know what, it's our nature, right? Let's say, you know, we post something, and a lot of times dudes are, you know, messaging or posting on a girl's thing. So I asked guys, you know, but before I really understood this, I was testing my information. I said, dude, so if this fine chick fucking, you know, you post a picture on Facebook and you comment and she like likes it and responds back, what's your immediate thought as a dude? You're like, I got a chance. You're like, I'm gonna pursue this.
Yeah.
So I let her know that behavior in a man triggers that you might be attracted to him, even if that's not your fucking intention, right? So
see, ladies, you fucking doing it all wrong.
Yeah. So I would tell her, and then I ask her, look, do you want dudes in your DM? Do you want dudes hitting you up? And she's like, well, no. I'm like, okay, so if I ask you to do that, understand the psychology behind it. I'm not just doing it for no reason. I'm doing it to also protect you and this relationship.
And that goes
Does
to people,
any dude who has a girl want other guys in her fucking DMs getting at her when it's your woman?
No.
No. And every woman will say, I want a man to fucking protect me. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Now, of course, in our field, she is dealing with men. But those are those little things. And again, anybody can agree upon in their relationship that line. Right? Whether they want girls to talk to guys. This isn't like you have to do it. This is just something that I want to do to protect my fucking relationship.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah. And no dude that I've asked is like, oh yeah, no problem, you know, unless they have that conditioning of like the white knight. Well, she can do whatever the fuck she wants and this and that. Okay, cool. Then I ask him, are you doing whatever the fuck you want? He's like, well, no.
Then why the fuck is she?
Right, exactly. But again, I feel that, again, if I make the request, it's explained logically and factually, and she accepts, that's our relationship.
So there's an exception to the rule when it comes to like family or...
Yeah. I mean, and again, anybody can draw the line wherever they want.
Yeah.
Some guys don't give a shit. They're like, talk to whoever you want, DM whoever you want. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's how they want to do it. But this in particular, like I said earlier, was one of those things that I was like, this is how I would like it to be. And if you want to engage in a relationship with me, then this is one of those things that I would want. Right? And she said yes. So again, other people that I know, they don't run their relationships like that. They don't. And some people are more extreme. They're like, don't talk to any guys at all.
So your girl is not allowed to like any pictures on Instagram?
No.
Okay.
Now, there's certain people that we know that, you know, she follows and stuff, and that's cool. But like, even if you go through like her YouTube and her Instagram, if dudes comment, like she's not liking it and commenting back. Yeah. It's not that I snoop every day.
Yeah.
Right? But
do you?
Every once in a while, I'll look.
Uh-huh.
And I've never...
Just to keep in check.
Yeah.
It's just to show that you're watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, it's not like every day I'm like...
Yeah.
I think I've checked probably twice in the last year.
Okay.
You know, so it's like every once in a while.
Yeah.
But again, she wants to look at my phone. She can look at my phone. She has the call. I'm like, look, she can look at any conversation I have, anything I'm doing.
But explain how that's not an insecurity.
A guy, what I just described, will want that. But he's too chicken shit to do it because he's insecure that he's going to lose the girl, and the girl's going to say, no, I'm going to do whatever I want. So if the girl says, no, I'm not going to do that, I'm like, okay, then we're not going to be in a relationship. It goes back to your willingness to lose the girl over the standard that you're setting. I'm okay with her saying no or any girl saying no, but then we're just not going to have a relationship. I'll say, cool, then we'll leave it at that and we'll just be friends. Because that would be something I would want as a man, right, in my relationship. I'm not afraid to lose them. The guy that doesn't say it, that wants it, and a lot of men want that. Even you were like, fuck yeah. But they don't say it, and they're like, okay, it's okay, you don't have to do it, but deep down inside they want to say something. Why do they not say anything? They're afraid of losing her, right? So who's really insecure, me or him?
Yeah. That's true. Let's see. Explain why it's okay for a man. Actually, let's go back up. There's a couple. Is a man allowed to like? The comments and photos.
Well,
and
I
stuff.
mean, again, that comes down to the agreement that you have with your partner. So
Okay.
in this case, yeah.
Okay.
But see, this is the thing too, is I'm not following fucking 5,000 thoughts on Instagram and liking all their booty pics and all that shit.
Yeah.
Even like if girls, because girls, when you talk to them, they want to send you like nudes and shit like that. Like I don't even want that shit. I really don't. I'm not some fucking pervert who's watching fucking Pornhub every day, like, and this like sexually desperate person. I'm not.
Yeah.
Like if girls that I don't really know are sending me like sexual shit, I'm like, dude, don't send me that. Like it's cool, it used to be, but like when you're okay with shit and like you've had sex and you're not fucking sexually starved, you're not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I say this, people think I'm like on the back end, like following like 100 like ass Instagrams. Like, like I'm not doing that, dude. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
But again, that's just the way I'm doing it. Whatever you agree upon with your woman is what you want to do.
Okay.
But you're not gonna find me if you look at my feed liking fucking 6,000 different chicks' fucking pics and stuff. Like I just don't do that.
So there's this. Let's see. Explain why it's okay for a man to like other female. We kind of touched on that a little bit. Why it's okay for a man to like other girls' pictures, comments, and stuff.
There's a couple things I can say. A man can decide and has to invest very little when it comes to sex.
Exactly. So my philosophy behind that is because a man can dictate the conversation and control where it goes.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, is she wait, can you repeat the question one more time just so I make sure I
explain
understand the
why
context?
it's okay for a man to go about liking photos and stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm sure you go about and like
I'll throw this question to the women and her if she asks.
Uh-huh.
And this is a fact, and they can agree with it or not. Girls don't give a shit if a bunch of dudes are like, "Oh, you're so pretty" and stuff. Women want and like getting attention from other women more than men. They don't want attention from men. If anything, if maybe they're newly single and they kind of want to see if like guys still like them, they'll look. But they want the admiration and attention of other women. They could give a shit about men. They don't want men. Like I guarantee you, it creeps them out. Like, have you seen those guys? A girl will post a selfie and the guy's like, "Oh, you're a queen. You're so beautiful," and this and that. That's creepy, dude. You think they want that? No, they don't. Most women will tell you they don't. And I've asked a ton of women and they're like, "Well, no, I like it better when other beautiful women are my friends." And if you look on average, you'll see that. You'll see a girl post a picture on Facebook. There's 50 comments. 30 are from thirsty ass dudes. "Oh, you're so beautiful. I would tear that ass up." Da da da. And like 2 of their friends will respond, and they'll only like and respond to their girlfriends, not the dudes, right?
So
but I've gotten that from observation.
Yeah.
It's not like I read that in a book. I've seen it in observation. I've asked girls, and they're like, "Nah, most dudes' comments are creepy and they're like really aggressive and it's gross."
no, that's true. Guys are fucking pretty out there.
Yeah. And then if she responds, it goes back to what I said. Now the guy's like, "Oh shit, I have a shot. She likes me."
Let's see.
Also,
so girls
I
are
want to
talking
add
about
to that.
double standard about why.
I want to add to that. Because this is what you need to realize too, as a woman, when you're out. And I had this experience the other night where these girls, one of them's drunk and their friends are, taking care of this girl. It's 3 girls. One of them's super drunk. And then there's 2 girls kind of walking her. And one of them's just barking at a bunch of dudes. "Stop fucking looking at us," and this and that. So I stopped them. And I said, "You need to shut up," to her friend that was loud mouthing. And she was like, "What?" I was like, "You need to shut the fuck up. You know why?" I was like, "Look around." I was like, "If me and like my friend or any of these dudes want to fucking fuck with you guys, you can be kidnapped right now because you're fucking barking like you're a man. Shut the fuck up. Do you want to protect your friend? Then be quiet and go. You can't protect yourself as a woman." Now, if this is me and a big ass dude and we're 6'5", I don't have to worry about that. But little ass 5-foot girl fucking walking around barking at people. You know how crazy people are nowadays? A dude who's fucking mentally ill could shoot them, could kidnap them, and fuck with them, all because she's this little 5-foot fucking girl barking at people for no reason. I could understand maybe if people were provoking her, but she was just walking around mad at the world. Would you want your girlfriend doing that, bro? With a bunch of fucking, after the club, a bunch of fucking big ass dudes. Like I looked around, there's a bunch of big ass dudes. All you need is one crazy motherfucker to go after you. And you can't protect yourself. What are they going to do if a 6'5" fucking 250-pound guy wants to muscle him up or push him around or hit him or kidnap him? What the fuck are they going to do? You see, so I'm thinking ahead here. And you know what? The other girl thanked me for telling that to her, because then they walked to their fucking car, calm. I said, take care of your friend. She's fucking super drunk. Get her to the hospital or get her home. Take care of her. But stop fucking. It's like, what the fuck? You think you're the lion of the fucking jungle?
Yeah.
Like literally, like fuck you guys. I was like, dude, you're asking for it doing that.
Yeah.
You're drunk. You can't protect yourself. And there's a bunch of alcohol fucking driven men with testosterone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anybody who listens to what I just said, it makes sense. Now,
Yeah.
I had to curse at her to get through to her because if I tried to be nice, she would have told me to fuck off.
Yeah.
So that was a technique I did. I wasn't just trying to be disrespectful, but I knew I did the right thing because even her friend thanked me. And the friend that I was with was like, damn, bro, like that's some next level shit. Like you did some good thing. But again, I tell that story and people will try to shame me for it. Oh, well, you're a dick. You didn't have to be an asshole. Could you imagine if I went up to her? Oh, excuse me, ma'am. Could you lower your voice a little bit? She would have been like, dude, get the fuck out of my face.
How's this bitch over here, huh?
But I was thinking her safety.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to fuck them or get at them. I was thinking her safety. But see, women don't realize that. They don't. Now, they might say, well, that's an extenuating circumstance. It would have to be something crazy for a dude to do that. You know how creepy and crazy people are nowadays?
Yeah.
You know, like it's nuts, bro. So again, that move was thinking about their safety. So if you're a girl, you have to fucking think ahead. That's why, like, if I send my girlfriend to go door to door and she's like with another girl or maybe by herself for a little bit, she has pepper spray. I know exactly where she's going. She tells me when she gets there, when she's going to leave, what street she's on, and I'm checking in on her because I want to protect my woman. You know? It's not that I want to be all up in her face, but I'm like, hey, this is the
guidelines to make you feel safe.
Yeah, and she thanks me for it because she's like, I know I'm protected. That's one of the biggest things with women. Women want to feel and know that they're protected with you.
Yeah.
So in that case of me out after the club or whatever, I did that because I felt like they're putting themselves in a bad fucking position. And anybody would agree with it. I've never had anybody say yet, like, oh, no, you shouldn't have done that. They're like, well, shit, bro, you're right. You know? Because how many stories do we hear of girls getting kidnapped or raped? Dude, a lot of girls have admitted to me that they've been raped. A lot of girls have been raped. A lot of them, whether by their family or whatever, but they won't tell you. And it's a lot more women than they'll admit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's obviously a problem. But it's situations like that that can provoke somebody to do something. You know what I mean? So we have to be smart, dude. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be in a fucking jungle with a bunch of lions, you know, that are around me and like, hey, yeah, I'll fuck you up. Dude, the one swipe, they'll fucking kill me. You know what I mean? I need to think ahead. I need to be strategic. I need to be quiet and get up in the fucking tree.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, hey, motherfucker, I'm tough. I'll kick your ass, you know?
Because it's 5-on-1 and shit.
Exactly. Especially that, you know? So we have to use our fucking mind.
And then kind of another comment that I brought up to a couple of women that I had this conversation with, it's like when it comes to the DMs, people feel like, oh, well, I'm going to send him a DM. I like it and it feels polite. Can you like reiterate on that? Like,
see, like, that's the social norm that's at play with the example that I just gave you. Because if I followed the social norm, I wouldn't have said anything to that girl that night at the club. We need to think beyond these social norms. Who the fuck set them in the place, right? And if you're a woman, you don't have to worry about being polite. Because being impolite has gotten you in conversations and situations you didn't want to be in. How many girls, because they're polite, taking a drink from somebody, end up getting fucking drugged? Or how many girls get pulled into a conversation for 30 minutes with a guy or a group they don't want to talk to because they're being polite? You're putting yourself in a bad position. You don't have to be polite. You get what I'm saying? Like,
no, I agree 100%.
Yeah, like the social norm is causing these issues where people
because I've heard that time and time again from females, like, well, I don't really want to do this, but I don't want to hurt this guy's feelings, this, blah, blah, that. Like,
if he's a man, his feelings aren't going to get hurt. If his feelings get hurt, he's a pussy.
True that.
Straight up. And again, I've been in the position where I was a pussy, but I manned the fuck up and fixed it and got better. You know what I mean? So it's a lesson that the guy needs. You know? But see, what we're talking about, bro, isn't, you know, and those are great questions, by the way, but anybody who attacks us and like really goes out of the way and gets mad, it's like an emotional outburst.
Yeah, because it says it's a double standard if a guy can respond on likes, girls' posts / DMs, but a woman can't. So how is that in a healthy relationship? But it's the guy leading to keep you. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to talk to these guys in the first place, you don't want to fuck them, then obviously you don't really need to talk to them.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, a lot of this stuff about double standards come in, but again, we're not the same. Men and women are not the same. That double standard comes up assuming that we're equal. If that's the case, let's all piss and shit in the same bathroom.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of stuff that separates men and women. Again, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just speaking facts.
Yeah.
Right? If that's the case, double standard, then how come in the army, as an example, the women, you have to do less push-ups and pull-ups? Why can't you do the same thing we do? That's a double standard. I can throw it right back. But I think the ultimate thing in regards to that question is this is something me and my girlfriend have agreed upon. Both of us are consenting adults.
It doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So you may do it differently, but the whole double standard thing, they'll use it, like in this case, but like when you look around, it's everywhere. You know what I mean? And the reason I don't entertain double standards is we have that separation between men and women on other mediums.
Yeah.
But in this case, you know, we're trying to say, oh, well, we're equal, but we're not. Just like we talked about attraction.
Yeah.
We decide if we want to fuck a girl within seconds. They need to invest a lot more before they decide to fuck a guy.
This guy makes a good comment. He's like, I agree. Some girls pretend to be on the phone to avoid guys. Just be rude and say, I don't want to talk.
Yeah, because again, you're not being rude. You're just, I'm not accepting your communication. And as a woman, especially if you're pretty, if you're polite, good luck. Your whole fucking day is going to be gone because guys are going to be fucking approaching you. Hey, so do you always shop here? Hey, what's your name? Oh, you look cool. It's like, do we have to entertain every conversation? Oh, yes, hello.
Yeah.
How much time are they going to waste? Again, this is why you need proper strategy too. If you're a guy trying to get at a girl and you know that's how they think, you need to be able to speak to them properly.
Yeah.
You know?
So do you feel that women would be happier in relationships if they would submit and follow these guidelines?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Overall. But again, it has to be the right guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it can't just be some, guy who's like, oh man, this is great. I'm going to do this tomorrow. And he doesn't have a fundamental understanding of it. And then you have to also be with a guy who embodies these qualities and is doing something. I do think this is for a higher value man for it to work. Because you have to be able to do it at a high level. I know I can provide, and it's not just money, but I've been in it. I've done it long enough. I have a deeper understanding than most people when it comes to this stuff. So I know it can work and I'll do it right and I'll stay strong. I can protect the woman and all that, right? Why do you think I started doing boxing and having her doing boxing? I keep adding these elements into the relationship to make it stronger.
Yeah.
And we're doing stuff together too. So I believe so. For the right person, yes. If a woman submits to the wrong guy, then she's fucked. How many girls that are on here would agree that most men nowadays don't have balls?
What was that? Say that again?
You got to have balls to do this.
Yeah.
You do. And I'm okay with somebody not agreeing. That's fine. But that comes with this. You're going to have people who don't agree with it. That's fine.
Let's see what else we got on here. Once a woman experiences real man energy, all this will make sense. Let's see what other questions.
And when I think about it, also my girlfriend, this is the first time and first person she's ever done it with. So of course in the beginning it's going to be kind of weird. So it's like if your whole life you've been driving a Civic and then you get into a Lambo and you bought one. I could have explained to you what being in a Lambo is like. You could have seen the videos, but getting in it,
you don't know it until you're living
the
it.
experience, you're like, oh man, this is super badass.
Yeah.
Or in the beginning, it might be too much. You might floor it and you're like, fuck, it's too fast.
Yeah.
But once you get to learn it and everything, it's different, right? Especially if the norm is the Civic and we live in a world where everybody has a Civic and only like 1% of people have a Lambo. Until you get in it and experience it, it's different, dude. Same thing with making money or anything else. Like I remember being told that money's the root of all evil and you shouldn't make money and this and that. And when I started making money, I was like, dude, I can give money to my family. I can help my friends. Like, this is cool. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
And all I ever got was advice that money's bad.
Yeah.
But then
I've gotten that time and time again.
Then when I think about it, well, I never got advice from somebody who actually fucking had money. All the rules that were given to me were by people who didn't have money, which is my family. Not to say that they're bad people, but they don't have the proper references to give me the proper advice. It was just one end of the spectrum, being poor.
Yeah.
So of course they gave me their values on money, which weren't correct. At least
be thankful for what you have.
Yeah.
And then Arash touches on that about as soon as a man is content, he loses his male energy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
About how like a man needs to constantly acquire, because as soon as you become content, it's just like, well, then you submit.
Yeah. And people will confuse that too with just money. It's not just money, Like I'm somebody who's making more money, of course. I'm building my skills. I'm building my confidence. I'm building my knowledge and understanding of this dynamic of other things.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly growing as a person too.
I think this comment is what's the word I'm looking for? Is true in a sense. I think behind these comments is a man who has a strong woman. I'm sure this is not devaluing women in a sense that just because you're this alpha person that you have to have a weak woman. It's like what makes you a stronger man is a woman that submits and does something with what you're bringing to the table.
Now, of course, she's the right candidate, but I've contributed to making her much stronger.
Okay.
Much stronger. Like, for example, she's just going through a death in her family recently. And I've gone through that shit 6 or 7 times in the last couple of years. So I was able to help her through that and help her grow from it, but also in the moment, handle it. I literally laid it out for her, how it was going to happen, what emotion she was going to get. And she's been thanking me to this day because it helped her get through it more. So I've helped her get stronger. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So absolutely, I would say she's a very strong, confident, alpha woman, 100%.
And that's
because I'm not going to get with a weak woman and be with a weak woman.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Right. But again, that forces me to step my fucking game up every single fucking day and get stronger too.
Yeah. Any other questions? I don't want to take up too much of your time, dude.
Yeah. I just got blocked by 10 people. Like, fuck this guy. He's an asshole. Fucking jerk.
Have you ever had your girlfriend come on and kind of share her piece about something like this?
I mean,
or is she just not open
I've
to
had her. I've had her on my podcast.
Uh-huh.
I've had her on some of my Facebook lives. I interview her too on my YouTube, and we talk sometimes about this stuff. It's just not like every day, you know, because I'm doing.
This is another good question.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut you off.
Sure.
As a father of a daughter, would you prefer your daughter, if you had one, to submit to an alpha or be the alpha?
No, submit to an alpha, of
Yeah.
course, because then I know she's going to be taken care of and fulfilled. Now, has to be the right guy. If it's the right guy, then I'm all for it.
But I think the submit is kind of lost in context because it feels like you're just going to bow down. But someone who is with an alpha is supposed to bring you up along with them.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
So I
the
think
woman also contributes to the man being greater, 100%. So it is a back and forth. That's what people miss. They think we just say submit and the girl's like on a leash and we do whatever the fuck we want, you know? Now, some people do that in the BDSM or whatever, and that's a whole thing in itself. But again, even in the context of
dominatrix
yeah,
and shit.
even in that context, even if you're not into it, they're not wrong for doing that. They're two consenting adults. Let them do whatever the fuck they want. If they want to whip each other and fucking do the
gags and shit.
I'm not into that shit. But I know some girls that will only be with a dude who's super into that shit.
Yeah.
And they will not be fulfilled unless.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be with me. They might be fulfilled in everything else, but they're like, baby, you're not tying me up and slapping me every day, so I can't be with you. And that's fine.
Put me in a swing, huh?
Exactly. So, but then I can't sit there and be like, well, you're wrong and this and that. I can't, because that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What if a woman brings more to the table than the man she's with? Times have changed, and that's the case of a lot of
then
relationships.
that woman needs to find a man that brings more to the table. That would cause an imbalance, I believe.
Okay, so
I believe.
if as a woman you bring more to the table,
Then you need to upgrade a man. You need to upgrade men. Personally,
Why
I think
is that?
so. Because it's going to throw off the dynamic in the relationship, I believe, especially long term.
Yeah.
Long term. So if you are that really like high status woman who brings a lot, you need to find a man who's minimum, I would say minimum on your level, but higher. And that gets tougher for a woman, right? And the dating pool for people who become better and better, it becomes smaller because it's such a fraction of the population. I believe for the dynamic to really work at its best, the woman has to date up and the man has to date down.
Date up and date down in a sense of how explain that.
Of what we like, for example, the woman. I'm basing off the primitive attractive things.
Uh-huh.
The woman looking for the guy with the status and the security and confidence, and the man looking for the beauty in the woman.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I mean when I mean date up and date down.
Okay.
Is the beauty of the woman, and then like the status and resources and power of the man.
Okay.
Right. There's other stuff involved, but I would say in that context of that. Now, people disagree with that, but you know, the examples that I see when the opposite happens, the relationship ends up breaking up just by observation, you know?
Any other questions, guys? We got the legend over here schooling us. So if you have any other questions, drop them now. If not,
that one I think ruffles people's feathers the most.
But what if a man loses his job? Should the woman then leave him because of his status?
Well, it depends, right? If the guy is doing his thing, he loses his job and it's a temporary thing, and then he's right back at it, then no.
But naturally, he's an alpha then.
Absolutely, because shit happens, man.
Yeah.
Shit happens. Like there could be an earthquake tomorrow and real estate shuts down and my real estate business is in the shitter.
But it doesn't mean you're not going to go acquire more.
Exactly. Now, if he gives up on life and suddenly he's fucking crying every day and he literally just gives up on life, then eventually I know that woman's going to leave him and want to leave him because he just gave up.
Yeah.
And it's not in our nature to fucking give up.
All right. Well, I think that might conclude
It'd be like a 2-hour episode.
Shit, I know, man. Fuck, I appreciate you, dude. Man, thank you.
Of course, dude.
But if not, I think that's it. All right, then, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping
Yeah.
by, schooling us, dropping
Yeah.
a bunch of knowledge. Hopefully, we can get you up on a follow-up podcast once this stuff drops.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, for
Absolutely,
sure.
bro. Thanks for having me,
Thank you,
dude.
Milo.